What's up, y'all? Welcome back to an ESPN NFL 2K5 franchise rebuild with the Miami Dolphins. We took a tough loss to the Cincinnati Bengals in the last game, and we have a tough test coming up in front of us in the form of the Baltimore Ravens. This, I believe, is the third time we've played the Baltimore Ravens in this universe, and we have yet to beat them with the Miami Dolphins. We have a new quarterback for them, no longer Kyle Boulder under center. It is Kurt Warner. In his 9th year, he has ended up in Baltimore, taking over under center. Behind him is Jamal Lewis, coming off of, I didn't realize he had 2,000 yards in 2003, but coming off of two 1,000-yard years in a row, looking to have another strong season. Their best receiver overall is Kevin Johnson. Despite not having the best stats, he is their highest overall receiver. Travis Taylor and DeVar Darling are right behind him as well, but their best overall on that offense is Todd Heap, who so far seems to be their number one option. 135 yards, 2 touchdowns for the Arizona State Sun Devil. And then, of course, they have a 95 overall tackle. Probably holding down the left side is Jonathan Ogden with his 95 pass block and his 93 run block. And you just can't think about the Baltimore Ravens without thinking about their absolute elite defense as well, especially around this era. We have Peter Boulware in his 10th season. We have, of course, Ray Lewis, the limousine rider himself, in his 11th year at a 94 overall. You also have Terrell Suggs taking up a spot on that elite linebacker unit. And behind them, you have Ed Reed as the strong safety, 13 tackles, and a forced fumble so far in this young season. And we almost never get to do this, but we get to highlight the punter. Dave Zastudel, the 90 overall punter, has a cannon of a leg. 97 overall, knows how to punt that thing down the field. So we have another tough matchup against the Baltimore Ravens. Their defense isn't as elite as maybe you would have assumed it is. It's still going to be a tough matchup no matter what. Let's send it to Chris Berman in the studio and see what happens.
Hey, I'm Chris Berman. Coming up on ESPN. Welcome everybody to week 3 of the NFL on ESPN. I'm Chris Berman. We're here to get you set for what should be a good early season test for both of these clubs. Ravens, Dolphins, next.
We have ourselves a rare sunny day in Miami, Florida. Welcome to Pro Player Stadium in Miami. A nice, beautiful day for football. And Ray Lewis is in the house, currently on pace for around 100 tackles this year. On the other side of the ball, anchoring down this Miami Dolphins defense is Zach Thomas, who knows how to make plays both behind and in front of the line of scrimmage. Kurt Warner on his new team will take over the first play of the game. Gives the ball to Jamal Lewis, who gains 3 yards. An incomplete pass brings up a 3rd and 7. Warner throwing over the middle and finds nothing but turf. And that is going to be a quick 3 and out from the Baltimore Ravens. They go ahead and punt the ball away. Zastudel showing off that cannon of a leg right away, punting it way deep. Tatum Bell takes the punt, runs over to his right, tries to cut back in through his left, gets tackled by a couple of Ravens. That's going to start this drive on the Miami 33. Carson Palmer handing it off to Ricky Williams, puts his shoulder into a defender, gives himself a little bit of space. Boulware is there for the tackle, but that's a 7-yard gain for Ricky Williams right off the bat. I actually remembered this as I was editing, as we see that pass go over the middle to Reuben Manning for the first down and then some, is that while the Ravens have a fantastic defense, their linebackers are very strong as Ricky gets 4 yards. Their defensive ends, specifically as Ricky breaks through, makes it over the line after the tackle by Demps for another first down as the Dolphins are driving here in their first play. Both defensive ends on this team are like in the high 60s. So I was editing as we throw over the top to Jarrett Tover, who has the ball in his hands, felt the presence of Ed Reed, and just absolutely threw the ball away for an incomplete pass. We throw deep over the left side. This time it's Antoine Randall L. making the super athletic grab, adjusting to make the catch from Carson Palmer. But anyway, just note that the defensive ends aren't as good as the rest of the defense, and it feels like we were able to contain the defensive ends as well, as you can see so far through this first drive, as we get another look at that incredibly athletic grab by Antoine Randall L. for the first down and then some. Off of the play action, Carson whips that one over to Chris Chambers, waiting on the hook route. That's a 5-yard gain, bringing up a 2nd down. We toss it to Ricky Williams on the left, who shakes and bakes around through a couple of blocks, gets tackled moving forward. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 1. Ricky gets the call again, gets a good block from Conrad, thank goodness, because we forgot to put Parks in, and he makes the first down to bring up our 1st and goal opportunity late in the first quarter. Carson dropping back, finding Travis Minor, who is all alone on the right side, hits a little Heisman pose before being tackled into the end zone, and the Miami Dolphins strike first. We're going to look at this one again. Travis Minor was absolutely all alone, nobody around him. He has enough time to give a little showboat moment, and Olindo Mari steps up to knock the extra point through. So with just about 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter, we put up a 5-minute drive for 67 yards, and the Miami Dolphins have the lead by a score of 7-0. Lucius Smith, the backup running back, is also the kick returner for the Baltimore Ravens, showing off right away why he's a dangerous option for them. And the Ravens take over once again. On 2nd and 10, Jason Taylor does not get touched by the Ravens' defensive or offensive line, and that is his 4th sack of the season so far, 3 games into this young 3rd season. Warner throwing over the middle. This time he had Travis Taylor wide open, and Travis just could not make the catch. Nothing is clicking so far for the Baltimore Ravens, and for the 2nd time in the first quarter, they are forced to punt the ball away. Bell continues to be a great option as our punt returner, as that 3rd-string running back. I'm really glad that we were able to find a role for him, and once again, we find Antoine Randall L. on a deep ball. The Ravens have been loving the cover 0 blitz, and anytime they throw a cover 0 at us is a perfect opportunity to throw over the top to somebody like Antoine Randall L. And we continue to show why that signing has been one of our best signings that we've ever made in a franchise so far. We hit Chambers over the middle for a first down after that short completion to Randall L., and we head into the second frame with a strong lead, 7-0, and this momentum right behind us. Ricky's going to take this one straight up the middle, gets met by a couple of Ravens defenders. That's going to be a 3-yard gain. After an incomplete pass, Carson lobs this one over the left side, has Randall L. in stride, and that's a 2nd touchdown for the Miami Dolphins. The 2nd passing touchdown for Carson Palmer, and our 1st touchdown for Antoine Randall L., who hits his dance, and we're going to have to see that one more time. Once again, a cover 0 blitz means that Antoine Randall L. is on an island, and he typically has the advantage over almost anyone that the Ravens are going to throw at him, because Chris McAllister, is going to have his hands absolutely full with Chris Chambers the entire game. So we're up 14-0 as the Ravens try and find some sort of answer. Kurt Warner finally completes a pass. That's going to be Travis Taylor catching that one over the middle for the first down and then some. Jamal Lewis bouncing out to the left side, looking to hit the Jets a little bit. He absolutely runs away from our Ricky Harris in that free safety position. You can see him just absolutely tear away from us after we try and take over the use of tackle, and that is a just around a 12-yard gain for Jamal Lewis. Jamal trying to keep the momentum going, runs into a couple of Dolphins defenders. That looks like it was Peanut Tillman and Zach Thomas making the play. That brings up a 3rd down, and then he converts that 3rd down, getting over the line. A couple of Dolphins were there to tackle him. Peanut Tillman is going to be very involved in the tackles today, because they were really liking that outside run. 3-yard gain on said outside run for Jamal. That brings up our next down, where we hit Hartman, the other tight end, not Todd Heath. It's going to be Harstock, and he makes the first down off of that pass from Kurt Warner. Jamal hits the counter to the left side, runs into our rookie Greg Medina. That's going to be a gain of nothing. Jamal going back over to the left side. This time gives Peanut Tillman the shoulder, but Jason Taylor is right behind him to clean up, and that's going to be a 3rd and 7 right over the middle. We have a defender there. He bats the ball away. He makes the play over the middle. I believe that's our rookie. Nope, that's Barton. I apologize. That's our backup strong safety making that play. And here's the risk of having a 55 overall kicker, is that he sucks. So the kicker misses the field goal, and it's basically a turnover. Travis Minor, coming straight off of that reception touchdown, makes a nice little spin move, gets 7 yards on first down. Ricky picking it up from 2nd down, uses his shoulder, waits for that beautiful block by Angelo Parks to clear up just enough space to make the first down conversion on 2nd down. Travis Minor getting another run up the middle, hits by Peter Boulware, and unfortunately, the hit from Peter Boulware seems to have taken him out. He's going to get carted off the field. He's going to be out for the rest of the contest. On the next down, Carson dropping back, throws it over the middle to J.R. Tolver, who decides to hold on to the ball this time, takes the hit from Demps, but has the first down for the Miami Dolphins. Just coming up on the 2-minute warning, Travis Minor grabs the handoff to the left side, manages to create a little bit of space before getting tackled. That's a 4-yard gain for the backup running back. Ricky running to the left side, gets out of the grip of one of those not-so-great defensive ends and rumbles forward for a first down conversion as we enter inside of the 2-minute warning. Carson, quick drop back, throwing to his left side, finding Randall L. on the hook route that's going to bring up a 3rd and short situation. Just 2 yards to go. Ricky picks up the ball, but he cannot make the first down conversion. This time in the contest between defensive ends and Ricky Williams, it was the defensive ends who win, but Olindo Mare steps up and just barely squeaks that one between the uprights. It was about a 47-yard field goal, and the Miami Dolphins are all the way in control of this one, leading by a score of 17-0. As we head into halftime. As you can see here, we are dominating in every aspect of the game. We're doubling, or in the passing yards case, quadrupling or more everything that we're doing compared to the Baltimore Ravens. We have more pass time, we have more rushing yards, we have more total yards, and we've held onto the ball for twice as long. In large part thanks to Antoine Randall L. 4 receptions for 78 yards and a touchdown. So we're going to bring it right back down to the field where we take over with the start of the third quarter. We drop back big time with Carson Palmer. We find Ricky all alone on that left side, uses his shoulder to find the first down on the first down, so we're going to move the chains right away. Travis Minor taking the counter play, slips out of a tackle, hits a nasty juke on Ed Reed, and then it's just him and a foot race, and if there's anyone you want to run away from in this live, it is Ray Lewis, and Travis Minor understands that. The backup running back is having himself a contest. We have to see this one again. Travis Minor taking the counter play, slipping out of the tackle from the linebacker. I believe that was the middle linebacker, the outside linebacker that came in for Peter Boulware. So that loss was being felt immediately. The juke sent Ed Reed out of his shoes, and like I said, you have to run away from Ray Lewis with all of your life or he will catch you. And the extra point is up and good from Olindo Mare. So just a minute into the second half, and we have ourselves a blowout. It is now a 24-0 lead for the Miami Dolphins, and the Ravens are desperate to get something going. Jamal Lewis hits a stiff arm on the rookie, but then Peanut Tillman is right there to clean up the play at the line of scrimmage. That's a 2nd and 10. Throwing over to the left side on 3rd down after another incomplete pass on 3rd down. Warner is still not able to get any sort of momentum going. I think he's literally completed 2 passes. He has like 25 yards passing. And the Ravens are just floundering here in Miami. Great return on the punt by Tatum Bell. That's going to bring us all the way up to midfield. That gives the Dolphins great field position to try and put some more points on the board. Ricky Williams gets started with a 5-yard run up the middle. Quick drop back from Carson, slinging it over to the right side. That's Randy McMichael making the athletic grab, stays on his feet, manages a few more yards forward for the first down, and then some, also staying in bounds. The clock continues to run. Ricky slipping up the middle, throwing his shoulder at a defender. That looks like Ed Reed that took the brunt of that hit. That's a 9-yard gain for Big Ricky. Travis Minor only getting a couple yards of that play, but sometimes you only need a couple of yards to convert the first down. We take a zone run to the outside, lots of blocks in front of us. Maybe we should have cut in towards Angelo Parks, but it's still a 5-yard run regardless, and the rollout to the right, we were thinking touchdown, and before we could even think about passing the ball, Ed Reed was on Carson Palmer, and that is a sack for a big loss. Carson rolling over the middle, hits Ruben Manning in the hands. He had the catch, but he drops it on the hit from Chris McAllister. Welcome to the league, Ruben Manning. And Olindo Mare just barely misses this one to the right side. I was mad at myself for this one because this one was only a 42-yarder versus the 47-yarder that we already hit. So the Ravens take over on their own 32-yard line. Kurt Warner technically completes that pass, but 2 Dolphins are on him immediately. That's only a 1-yard gain. Jamal gets some good blocking up the middle this time. He gets a 3rd and inches on about an 8-yard gain. Now, this is interesting because you're going to feel like you're feeling deja vu, both from the last episode, because this literally just happened. The Ravens challenged the spot of the ball, saying that they converted the first down, and, you know, like, you could look at this, you could argue that the ball was over the line, but the ruling is overturned, but they don't spot it over the first down line, so they essentially just waste a challenge on this. And it's not even 4th down, it's 3rd down. So it would have been like 3rd and inches versus 3rd and inches, which feels incredibly convertible, especially when you have Jamal Lewis make a huge play into open space like that. So they essentially wasted a challenge for nothing, but they keep the ball and the drive stays alive. Jamal rolling out to the left side, does not get a very smooth run around his blockers, only gains a yard thanks to the tackle by Zach Thomas. And speaking of Zach Thomas, Kurt Warner just played catch with him. He just threw straight into Zach Thomas's chest. The horrible, no good, really bad day for Kurt Warner continues here in sunny Miami, and the Ravens continue to struggle against this Miami defense while the offense is finding the answers that they're looking for. Everything is coming up Millhouse. If you know, you know. Travis Minor takes the run up the middle, gets met by 2 or 3 Ravens defenders. That's going to be a 3-yard gain. Carson trying the rollout again, and shame on me when it's the second time. Terrell Suggs comes through on the blitz perfectly and makes the sack. Carson, play action fake, throwing over to the middle, bounces off of 2 Ravens defenders. Very, very lucky that we did not throw an interception right there, so we go ahead and punt it away. We punt this one inside of the 20-yard line. Pablo Reed is on the hunt for the tackle. He makes the hit just over the 20-yard line. The Ravens take over at the 23. Now, I'll give Kurt Warner credit. That is a reception. It was only a 3-yard reception, but it's a reception regardless. And going into the 4th and final frame, the Dolphins have this one well in hand by a score of 24-0. On second down, Kurt Warner's throwing over to the right side. He does find, I believe that's Travis Taylor for the reception and the first down. Great job by Kurt Warner. I believe that is his first catch. Those last 2 plays were probably his first receptions in the second half of play. Lewis gets up the middle for 7 yards thanks to the tackle on a couple of Dolphins. He can't make the first down conversion on second down, so now we've got a 3rd and 2, which means Kurt Warner is throwing the ball, which means they're probably not making the first down conversion. And even then some, he managed to throw it backwards. So Johnson made the catch, but he went backwards and lost yards, and so they had to punt it away. Travis Minor gets the run on first down. He gets an inadvertent face mask along with the 3 yards that he gained. So we're going to get a 1st and 2 on our own 20-yard line. From that said 1st and 2, we're going to hand it off to Ricky on the draw play, who gets a couple of blocks and manages much more than 2 yards for the first down conversion. So our run game has been way more successful than I thought it would be. Speaking of successful run game, that juke that Travis Minor hits right there to send Will Demps away, and then once again using the speed to break away, no Dolphins can grab him. He hits the Heisman one more time, and this is the Travis Minor game. Spinning out of the tackle of none other than Ray Lewis, sending Will Demps into another dimension with the juke, and then hitting the afterburners. We have maybe Travis Minor is feeling some sort of way that we signed Tatum Bell, but I'm loving this setup, and I'm loving how Travis Minor is showing up in this game. 9 rushes, 154 yards, and 2 total touchdowns. Travis Minor has been absolutely balling today, and it means that we get to leave the Mustang, aka Ricky Williams, in the garage. So really glad to see that our backup back is capable of making big plays. Also capable of making big plays is one Todd Heap, pretty much the only one capable of making big plays. Now this is feeling like garbage time, but the Ravens are still trying to get on the board regardless, and they have done a great job of getting started right into the no-huddle offense. Warner throwing to the left side. This time it's going to be Darling wide open on the left side. I don't think we really changed up our defense, and they exploited it twice. It's 2nd and inches. They throw again to the left side, and now they call this one out of bounds, and even him going backwards, which I was like, okay, this challenge makes a little bit more sense. They're technically throwing the same challenge flag, so we've got that going for us. Kevin Johnson makes the catch. You can see he's clearly across the first down line, but his momentum is bringing him backwards, especially as he kind of gets that second foot down and goes out of bounds. You can see how far behind the first down line he ends up. So they overturn the play again, but they also place the ball not over the first down line again. So another wasted challenge. They're now out of challenges, although again at 31-0, it doesn't matter. And once again, they convert the 3rd down on 3rd and short. So it wasn't even like they had a 4th down and they had to decide what to do. Like they could have just tried for the 3rd down on 3rd and 1. They probably would have made it anyway. It's a first down. We get another completion to Taylor. Seems like the only guy who knows how to catch a ball here. Howard makes the play. As you can get a quick glimpse at Kurt Warner's very mediocre season stats with the Ravens so far. He drops back, throws over the middle. I believe that is Todd Heap once again, learning that, you throw to your best player. Just about 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. We try and figure out if we want to audible. We don't really have enough time. Warner throws over to the right side. He finds Todd Heap once again. He has more speed than Zach Thomas, who is stuck in man coverage. And the Ravens do manage to get on the board with a touchdown today. You can see here we had him on an island with Todd Heap, him being Zach Thomas, couldn't make the play, no safety help was there, and the Ravens are able to score. The kicker almost misses the extra point, which would have been incredibly fitting, but it's funny, you see them, they put together a 7-play, 78-yard drive just like that, and you're like, oh, where was this the entire game? But I guess that's a credit to our defense, and a credit to the Ravens special teams right here, because they were all the way on top of that onside kick, and they get another chance to put some more points on the board. A pass interference call is going to be the whistle down from the referees on this one, so the Ravens get some free extra field position, moving the ball up to the Baltimore 48. Kurt Warner rolling over to the right side, almost takes the sack, manages to get the pass off. That's another reception for Travis Taylor, who once again is the only receiver doing anything. Heap has 6 catches for 58. Travis Taylor has 4 for 60, and of course Heap has the 1 touchdown here for the Baltimore Ravens. Quick drop back, quick throw, quick interception. Reggie Howard pretty much shutting the door on this one. There, funny enough, are going to be a couple of more possessions for each team, but no scores here for the Baltimore Ravens. That leaves it to a 20-plus score game. And Reggie Howard conservatively puts the 360 dunk into the basket. I mean, this was just a present. Look at how just lobbed that was. So Reggie Howard, who, if he's worth anywhere close to the $2 million that we're paying him this year, definitely would intercept that, and he goes ahead and does that. We give Tatum Bell a carry. We've officially sat Ricky Williams for the rest of the game. I think also at this point, our rookie Brad Montgomery is in doing the handoffs. I don't even know if he passes the ball. I think he's just in there to take some snaps and see what everything looks like. Travis Minor makes the first down conversion. Tatum Bell's going to lose yards this time because when it's Tatum Bell versus Ray Lewis, turns out Ray Lewis wins that battle. Tatum gets another opportunity, gets a bunch of those yards back. I believe he gets 6 back on that play. That's a 3rd and 6. Travis Minor trying to make the first down conversion, gets 3 out of the 6 yards. Great tackle by Ray Lewis. They call a timeout because annoyingly in this game, even if it's a blowout, the other team will call timeouts and desperately try and come back and win. But I guess it's a loser mentality that I would let the game end just like that. So anyway, we lay on a nice hit. The Baltimore Ravens take over from their own 23. 1 pass to the left side, in and out of the hands of Todd Heap. 2nd down. Kurt Warner dropping back, throwing over to the left side into a mess of Dolphins defenders, and I think that's a theme that you're going to see here as time kind of wears down, is that he's throwing to 1 Ravens defender, and there's like 2, 3, 4 Dolphins defenders around to try and do something about it. So we get the turnover on downs. We get about a minute and a half left. Travis Minor taking the counter. Blocks weren't really there. We lose a yard. The Ravens call timeout. Tatum Bell takes another carry. Terrell Suggs is there to slow him down. Ray Lewis is there to make the tackle. We get that yard back. Final timeout is called by the Baltimore Ravens. So we have a 3rd and 10. We have a choice. We could try and go for the first down. We're going to choose to do it on our feet. We make the nice juke to make the first defender miss, but Travis couldn't get back on his feet to convert the first down. So we give Olindo Mare another chance to make an extra point conversion. So just, a 53-second opportunity to put some more points on the board. And I guess the Ravens need to get one more chance. Big Perk jumps through for another sack for him. So we're loving to see Big Perk, one of our draft picks, starting to make some computer sacks. We love that for us. Reggie Howard almost has himself a 2nd interception here. 3rd and 13. This is all but finished. We throw over to Todd Heap, who actually makes the reception. They run and sprint into a no-huddle offense because that's going to make a difference, Kurt. And they decide to run one more play here on 4th down just so Kurt Warner can throw the ball away, and we can almost intercept it for that final 4th down, not conversion. So Kurt finishes off his very bad, no good day. We're able to bring in Fiedler, who kneels the ball down, and the Dolphins are back in the win column with a very emphatic victory over the Baltimore Ravens by a score of 34-7. So we've never beaten the Ravens before, so we respond by absolutely beating the brakes off of the Baltimore Ravens. You can see here, it doesn't feel like Kurt Warner had 146 passing yards. That feels actually crazy looking at it, that he had more than Carson Palmer. But when you have 251 rushing yards, especially 164 yards and 2 touchdowns from your backup running back in Travis Minor, you're going to have yourself a victory most of the time, very likely. So Carson was surgical. 128.8 computer rating, quarterback rating, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions in those 100 yards and change. Travis Minor had 164 yards. Ricky Williams also had a great day, 13 yards for 77 yards. That's 6-point-something yards per carry, and the 2 touchdowns to Travis Minor. Antoine Randall L. was our best receiver today, 4 receptions for 78 yards. It looks like Chambers only had a couple for 17. Ironically, I feel like Chambers still only, like, overall stats-wise, doesn't have a ton of yards receiving because of that clipping call that got called by him. My favorite surprise was the 2 leading tacklers of the game were Zach Thomas and Peanut Tillman, with 8 tackles for Tillman and 6 tackles for Zach Thomas. So our defense was still doing work. I mean, Jamal Lewis was still getting a lot of carries, so great job by our defenders there. Great job by Richie Howard, and Zach Thomas also getting an interception in this game. So that's going to do it for the Baltimore Ravens. We have a big AFC East stretch coming next. We may make a trade, try and bolster our defense a little bit, maybe try and improve that free safety spot, but that is a tale for a different episode. So thanks for sticking out. If you haven't already, smash the like button, leave a comment. If you haven't, definitely get subscribed, and we're going to throw it to SportsCenter for week number 3.
Hey, I'm Chris Berman. Got a lot of games to cover. Let's get at it. In our first game this week, we had the Texans come away with a 7-point win. Antonio Bryant had a stellar game, but all said and done, his performance wasn't enough to lift his team to a victory. In a long-standing AFC rivalry, we had the Colts pick up their first win of the year. Marty Booker had over 50 yards receiving and helped his Bears beat the Vikings. In the city by the bay, San Francisco, we had the 49ers narrowly coming out on top by 5. Over at Arrowhead Stadium, we had the Chiefs get nipped by 3 points. Browns, Bengals. Rudy Johnson is such a tough runner. Split in the backfield at the 35-yard line, and look at him stiff-arm that defender, and it opens up the hole for a touchdown. The Bengals win this one by the final score of 17-10. The Broncos got 300-plus yards from their offense in their victory at Invesco Field at Mile High. The Dolphins won big at home and will stay home for next week's game when they meet the Bills. Peerless Price stepped it up this week and gave his team some added firepower for the win. Down in the fun and sun of Jacksonville, we had the Jaguars get nipped by 3 points. Donovan McNabb took to the air for over 300 yards and helped his Eagles beat the Lions. Cardinals, Saints. Joe Little Bighorn ready to go at the 16-yard line. Makes a move, spins, he's got daylight. Beautiful pass. Boy, did that look easy for the touch. The Saints go on to win this by the final score of 31-24. And last but not least, we had the Giants come away victorious.
All right, Boomer, thanks. In front of you, we've got the AFC Infirmary Report. And as you can see, they were hit hard this week. Tony Richardson won't see action for a while, so this offense is going to have to make do without him. Broken ribs severely hampering his mobility. They'll keep him out for 5 weeks. In front of you, we've got the NFC list. And as you can see, they could form their own MASH unit. Gary Walker might be the biggest loss on this list. It's reported that he's broken his hip, and if that's the case, he'll be out for 5 weeks. So that'll do it for now. Chris, let's send it back to you.
So that'll just about do it. But before we go, I'm going to toss out a few game balls to my prime-time players. Each and every one of these men had a week to remember. That'll do it, sports fans. I'm Chris Berman, and thanks so much for joining us here in the Bristol studios. We'll see you next week right here on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.